This is the part of the show where we really just shoot from the hip. I give a comment, could be good or bad, and whoever's called upon kind of goes off the cuff, and we respond to the best of his abilities.
We need to
They
figure out a name
haven't,
segment.
yeah, they haven't, yeah. I mean, maybe some of the fans can post a
Yeah,
couple name
I mean,
ideas, but
I threw out some good ones. I'm just saying.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
have a name for you next week. I promise you that. Go ahead,
All
Steve.
right.
Take it away.
This is
So
a segment worthy of a real name.
Yes.
yeah. But we're gonna kind of go a little shoot from the hip here. So Keith, unpopular opinion. We should not fire Chris Greer. We should demote him to beer man in the stands. Wouldn't it be awesome to see him serving the fan base for once? Do you think that Chris Greer has served us, or do you think that it would be nice to see him serve us?
See, I think there's two ways of looking at this, honestly, because with Chris Greer, he has tried to serve us. He's tried to serve Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, I think, might have been the driving force behind us not getting a backup quarterback this offseason better than Skylar Thompson. I think he's tried to serve us. I think, the trade for Tyreek Hill, who was panning that when that happened? The trade for
Hmm.
Bradley Chubb. I don't think anybody was sad to see Bradley Chubb come to town. He's tried to. I've actually come somewhat full circle on Chris Greer. I've actually, I was calling for his head a month ago.
Week 3, you were like, "This dude's garbage."
Yeah, yeah, but no, cooler heads are prevailing here, and I'm looking at Chris Greer through a different lens, and I think the things he's done well kind of outweigh the things he's done badly. Offensive line. I thought that offensive line was an area where he didn't address our needs. Our offensive line has been the least of our concerns this season.
They've been playing amazing. Yeah.
Defensive line. I didn't like what he did with the defensive line, but you know what? Like guys like the Sean Hand that he brought in, Calais Campbell, re-signing Zach Sealer, like our defensive line has been great. I don't think our defensive line has been great, and when Sealer was out, we definitely felt that. But it's been better than I think any of us anticipated. Chris Greer, I'm willing to give him one more season, and no, I don't want him serving me beer because he'll probably spit in it because I talked a lot of crap on him about a month ago.
Yeah, we're not trying to get no loogie beer. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so this one's for Anthony. As a rookie, Jalen Phillips started relatively slow out the gates. Through his first 9 games, he had 2 sacks. Current Miami rookie Chop Robinson started slow, has 2 sacks in 9 games, 2 in the last consecutive weeks. JP went on a rampage, games 10 through 13 with 6.5 sacks. Can Chop follow the pattern?
Well, this is pretty fitting. We almost ruined this one before because I kind of made this point.
Smiling.
I mean, he reminds me exactly of Phillips. So, I mean, and he's looking better and better every week. I don't really know our schedule off the top of my head to see. Let's see. Here it is. Let's see. Okay. New England, Drake May could definitely get a sack there. Green Bay, the Jets twice. Oh yeah, he's gonna. It's open season for chopping those ones. So I do see it. Yeah, I think Cleveland too. Jameis Winston takes a sack every 3.5 seconds. So I absolutely see an opportunity for Chop to get 6.5 sacks in. I would say the rest of the season. I don't know about these next 4 games as this suggests, but certainly by the end of the year.
Awesome. All right, Josh.
Oh boy.
So I have something to go with this because I did do a little research with it real quick, but I feel like the Dolphins have had issues covering tight ends since like 2001. It's unbelievable. Some of the tight ends that we've had to deal with since 2001 on, our respective rival teams are Mark Campbell, Dawson Knox, Anthony Beck, Tyler Conklin, Daniel Graham, Ben Watson, Gronkowski, tight ends like that. Is it a tight end issue or is it a Miami Dolphins issue?
I think it's both. I mean, I think, some of the names you named, one of them in particular is probably going down as the best to ever do it in Gronk, in my opinion. I mean, arguable. There are some discussions that can be had, but you look at his numbers and you look at, I am the least biggest Patriots fan out there, and I got to give it to him. I got to give it to the man, right? That being all of that being said, I do think that for whatever reason, and I don't know if this is just in my own head, but I do think the Dolphins have, for whatever reason, have an issue covering tight ends. Ever since I've been a fan, we haven't been able to cover tight ends. I don't know why. I don't know if it's mental lapse or whatever the case is, but I think it's a combination of both. Really good tight ends going against a team that, for whatever reason, forgets about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lack
Yeah.
of middle linebacker talent too, I would say.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I
True.
agree with you about Gronk though. Josh, sorry. I agree with you about Gronk. He's the best I've ever seen.
I mean, just insane. I mean,
Yeah.
he's dumb as rocks, but I'll tell you what, that man can play football.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I got one more for each of you, if that's all right, real quick.
Yeah. I think we have time for that.
All right, Keith, here's another one for you. This game is so scripted. How is Cater going in with a tackle like that? Did you talk to this fan about a scripted NFL game? Is there any script to these games, do you think, Keith?
No, I don't think there's any script to these games. You know, my late Uncle Bob used to talk about that's so scripted. I can't believe, no, I don't see a script to this.
Do you think Vegas has any pull to these games?
No.
No.
No, I really don't. I just think I just think the Dolphins, I think they fell victim to something that we told them not to fall victim to last week, where they were looking past an opponent. I think they saw this Raiders game on the schedule and they said, we're better. We're playing better football. We have Tua back. We're better. We're going to beat them. We're going to roll the ball out there, and we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. And
we did.
I mean, yeah, we did.
You know.
It took a while to get us there, but no, I think, I think that there were a lot of failings. Not just Cater Kohu, not just Storm Duck, Anthony Weaver didn't call a good game. It's just, this was a comedy of errors, and we still got the victory, which is a testament to the talent on this team.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if that answers your question, but
No.
Hey, for all of the fans out there that think the game is really scripted, I got Anthony and I have a bridge in Brooklyn that we could sell you if you're interested.
Yeah.
It's a nice one.
I see it all the time about the script and Vegas this and
Look,
did that. They
if the
missed the
NFL
over.
if the NFL was truly scripted, I think they would have not had Bill Belichick rule the NFL for the past 20 years.
Oh yeah.
Could you think of a more dour spokesman for the NFL than Bill Belichick?
I'm curious,
right.
do the people who say it's scripted ever play like the game of telephone in grade school, where they have you like start with a sentence and say it to the next person, then by the time it gets to the end, it's a completely now imagine that with 10,000 employees, and let's see who messes up, right?
Exactly.
All right. All right, Ant. Oh, stop it with all that Miami won. We haven't beat nobody. 2 teams with a losing record. Stop it, please, okay? Is that the attitude to have? Like we just beat the Raiders, and we have a couple easy games on the way. We have one of the easiest schedules from here on out. With Miami being with Miami winning, I mean, beating nobody, is that our fault? I mean, I think we've beaten some professional teams here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, and the Rams didn't have a losing record. I don't know what he's on about there. They were fighting for the division lead, and we beat them on Monday night in front of a national audience. So I think that the game was pretty important to them. Listen, I understand this mindset. I totally get it. Like, many of our fan base are just in a bad way, and I can't blame them. We've all lived through it for the past 30 years, 30, 40 years, whatever. But you got to take the wins as you get them. It's a hard league to win in, and I know it's like everybody says that and like, well, what about the Chiefs and what about the Patriots? They've had like this success. Like, all right, we're talking about like Andy Reid and Bill Belichick, who are like the Don Shula and name another old coach who was amazing back in the day of our time, right? Like, it's just not really fair to compare everything to that. Mm-hmm. And listen, the Jaguars win was rough. I think we all kind of agreed that like that win didn't prove anything, right? And the same thing with the Patriots win. But these 2 wins were different. These 2 wins were impressive. I know the first half looked rough. Second half, we played like last year, I thought. We played very well, and
Mhm.
I still like. I know I downplayed it last week, but then the more I think about it, and the more I see like the Rams, it's like we beat the Rams on Monday night. Like
Yeah,
that
that
was
team is
such a huge
stacked
win. Yeah, such a
with
huge.
one,
And they
arguably one of the best coaches in the league.
Yep.
one of the best coaches in the league. They were healthy, which we all like grimace about constantly. Like these teams get healthy just in time for us. They had Puka
Always.
back, they had Cup back, they had Kyron Williams back. Like everybody was back. Stafford was back, their offensive line, and we still beat them handily on national TV. I think that just enjoy it, man. You don't know how many more wins we're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get playoff football. So, like, we potentially only have a month and a half left to watch our Dolphins play before we have to wait 8 freaking months to see them play again. So, try to enjoy it.
Yeah, and Anthony, you said this, right? You can only play your schedule. I mean, it's not like it's in college where we make our schedule.
Yeah.
We are given a schedule, and at the beginning of the year, everyone was like, "Oh, the last 6 games are so incredibly hard." Well, turns out they're not because the other teams are garbage. So good for us. Why are you sad about that?
Yeah.
That just gives us a better chance at making the playoffs. What kind of?
Yeah.
I can't stand. I can't
Stop
stand
playing the
fans like this.
victim.
All right, Josh. Last one. Here we go.
Woe is me
Three.
shit. That drives me nuts. Oh, sorry.
All right. Tua is doing good, but y'all crazy if y'all think he makes us a Super Bowl contender. I don't even think Dallas fans say that about Dak, and Tua is weaker than Dak. Do you think Dak is better than Tua?
No, I think I could no. No,
Let's hear
no,
it. Let's hear it.
I wouldn't take Dak when Tua was injured. Like I hate Dak Prescott. I think he is a horrible quarterback. And if this fan or these fans, if this was a collective thought, think that Tua doesn't make us a Super Bowl contender, look at what we were without him. I mean, I don't need to say anything else. Look at the stark difference between product on the field. You don't like him as a person. I don't understand how he's the nicest guy on the planet. You don't like him as a person, fine. He's not a top 5 quarterback in this league, in my opinion. No, he's not a Patrick Mahomes. He's not a Josh Allen. He's not supposed to be. But what he is for this franchise, for our franchise, is a quarterback that could certainly lead us to the playoffs, to a couple wins, and eventually a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Because this is what I get into so many arguments online about this kind of stuff. I mean, tons, and more than I probably should. But at a certain point, it gets fun. Everyone wants to blame Tua when we lose. Yet when we win, oh, it was because of somebody else. This is a team sport. We don't lose because of one player unless his name is Jordan Poyer. And we don't win because of one player. This is a team sport. Tua could have a phenomenal game, but Waddle drops 16 balls like he has been all year. Or Raheem Mostert fumbles. Or Cater can't tackle. Or Jalen Ramsey gets burnt by a rookie wide receiver in a weak run. That is not on Tua. We don't win and lose games because of a single player. And this shit drives me crazy. Yes, I do absolutely think that he can bring us to the Super Bowl. And again, it will, if we win, if we were to ever win, it is a team win, not a player win.
Yep.
I agree. We can win a Super Bowl with Tua. We can win with Tua.
I got one more for me. Is that all right? It'll take me 10 seconds.
Sure.
All right. All I want for Christmas is the Dolphins to get a quality backup for next year. Please. I'm sorry, bud. You ain't getting it for Christmas.
Nope.
Yeah, that ship's kind of sailed, hasn't it, Steve?
Yeah.
By the way,
All right.
28 points per game since Tua came back. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and what was it, like 5 when he was gone or something?
If
11.
Yeah,
it was a
might as
little
well have
better than 5, but not by much.